Hello again, my favorite coder cats and coder kittens. As usual, this is Becca going by Nightcat or Nightcat's Meow most places online, and I am here again to talk to you about Linden Scripting Language. I am back again at my friend's Castle Keep here. Well, I am still sorting through the mess that my life is. Hopefully I will have a resolution at some point. Now, in terms of finishing the dice roller, that is kind of on hold. I think I know what is going wrong with it, and I think it is that the processing I'm doing on the information it receives is taking too long for it to keep up with everything else. So I'm going to be working on figuring that out, but so I don't leave you all without a video, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the thing that was requested about animations and note cards. So that's actually two separate considerations to look at. One is the reading of the actual note card, and the other is the application of animations. So my best guess is what you're actually after is something where you can choose various options out of a list of available ones, and a note card will just simply pick the set that you want. So it's an easy way to switch those up. Or to have a kind of like animation overriders, I'm presuming. Maybe that's what you're actually trying to create. We'll ultimately go over a lot of that piece by piece, but we're going to start with a review of basic animation and how to trigger them. So, next week we will go into the note card reading itself, and then we're going to start combining everything together. I did deal with animations at one point, but it has been a while, so this is prime for a refresh. So we're going to take a basically a stick, because I know I have some spear animations that I can use to demonstrate with. That is a longer stick than I particularly want. Let's make that only a 2-meter stick. That is a long enough stick. That is my stick. There are many like it. This is my stick. So, starting with your basic script window, the thing with animations is that there's a couple of parts to it. There is the ability to provide an animation, and there is the trigger of the animation itself. So, how you actually get to trigger an animation, you have to have the permissions. So, request permissions is the correct command. You can copy that, and this lists the various permissions you can request. Debit, that's dealing with money. Be extremely careful with that. Take controls, that's how you actually get it to respond to the controls that normally animate your avatar. Trigger animation, that's what we're going to deal with. Attach, that would be to put itself onto or remove from your avatar. Change links, that can actually, you can make objects attached to and detached from each other as a link set. Though, depending on what else you're doing, that can get complicated really fast. Camera tracking, this is anytime that you have something that needs to know where you're looking in order to respond correctly, like a teleport to camera or a reset camera, it uses something like this. Control camera is how vehicles or certain view controllers manipulate where you're looking. Teleport, estate management, if you're not actually running a sim, you probably don't need to worry about that. Override animations, that is actually the one specifically for animation overriders. That is how you actually dictate, you're going to use this walk instead, you're going to use this run instead. That's how it configures that. And return objects is for automated return systems, which is again more of an estate management tool. But those are the different permissions you can grant an object. So, on res, all right, the request permission, you need key agent. That means it has to be a player's key. Get owner works very well. You can also get a target key from touch. You can get it from collision. You know, these are how some of the various things that will animate you, like a dance ball, are going to get their permissions. And then you have to know what permissions you're trying to get. So we're going to go back to the thing here, and that is trigger animation is the one we want. Control C, Control V. Now the other thing about that is that you can check to see what permissions the object already has. So this is very good for knowing if it's got those set or not. So this is returns an integer bit field with the script permission granted. So start integer permission if perm and permission debit can use give money. So that's how it's formatted. You see it right in there. You put it as a integer permissions get permissions, and then you can run a check against each of these. So on res, integer permission equals get permission, and then if perm, let's go back to checking the sample here, perm includes that just single ampersand permission animation. So if permission includes permission there, return else request permission. There you go. This check here just makes sure that if you don't already have the permission, it will go ahead and check it, or it will actually go ahead and request it again. So anytime the object is resed, it will check, do I have the permission? When the script is first started, it will make sure it gets the permission. Then you're just going to tell it to trigger an animation. So let me pull an animation out of my repertoire. All right, I went through my inventory. I found a animation I don't mind using called hold right. So touch start. Let's make that a toggle. Integer hold equals false, because we need to have it constantly referred back to even when the handlers are not active, or because it would be reset on the handler being triggered again, so we have to have it a global variable so it will remember the variable. So up here we will go if hold equals false, stop animation, hold right, because that's the animation I dropped into the object. Else, because it means that the above if hold, you do this. Otherwise, if you do this. There's only two real options, so that's all you need. We flag it to true, and LL start animation, hold right. Excuse me. And where is the error? I didn't put the integer for the res. Because it's possible to send information about an object on res, it has to have the ability to include it. And that was me just doing it based on the thing I saw instead of the way I wrote it, which is a stupid mistake, but I make them sometimes. There we go. Now it requests the permission. We tell it yes. That proves it triggers on and off. So there I am with my stick. There I am holding my stick in the way I want to hold my stick. So I adjust my stick so that it looks like it belongs in that pose. Now I can carry my stick. Now let's see if the other, yep, there we go. My walking animation is overriding the animation for my stick. Now, that was one of the things I was hoping to actually teach you about while we're discussing animations again, is animation priority. Different animations have different priority settings. So let me see if I can find one in my computer to not quite upload, just so I can give a demonstration. Okay, I think I managed to find a file to upload, and I'm actually going to have to upload them to explain this properly. Alright, little hopping animation. You can set a bunch of different things when you set these up. One of them is you can set it to loop, where it will just keep going. The ease in, ease out, but the part I'm really going to illustrate is the priority level. We're going to drop that to a priority 0, and notice it just stopped. Put it to a 1, now it's going. 0, stopped. 1, going. Basically, you can take the priority all the way up to 4. The priority actually indicates, which animations will override which animations. Higher priorities will override lower priorities. So, that is the brief primer. Yay, didn't have to upload that to explain it. Yay, conserving Linden from upload fees for the other things that I need to upload. So, that is a brief bit primer on animation itself. So, next week we'll continue this with going into how do you go ahead and read the information from a note card. Reading an information from a note card is it's not as hard as it sounds, but there is a few bits to doing it. So we will go over those next week. Hope you all come back for it. Until then, good day, good week, good luck, happy coding. Meow.